Welcome everyone. Today we have with us Suraj Jha sir. He's founder of Captwist.in. He works at Amazon.com and has done his engineering from IIT Guwahati. Welcome to the podcast, sir.
Thanks, Jay. Nice to have with you. Yeah, thanks.
Great, sir. My first question to you is, sir, what inspired you to do engineering, and what was your early life education like?
Yeah, so it's not like I I was not like something I want to do engineering or something. I was interested in my ninth standard. I was very interested in science, mostly in physics and math. So like I thought of pursuing that. Like so in 11th 12th I went through that and I was not very adamant at that point, like I want to do engineering or something. At that point, just wanted to go have a career in science somewhere. Like, and mostly at that point, I was thinking that I would go and do some physics research in physics or something.
Wow.
uh, but sadly, ISC did not accept me. So I have to go and do engineering. But it's fine. I started. The choice was like so. I could have done maybe engineering physics. So we have engineering physics.
Yeah.
But then I don't know what happened at that point. Like I was maybe I got FOMO or something because all my
Everyone was
batchmates are
taking engineering.
everyone is taking computer science or something. So I was like, okay, I will take computer science, and anyway I can change after first year. So we'll go and see that, and then we will see what happens. So that way I took computer science. But then when I went to college, uh, I got really interested into that,
Computer
like
science.
yeah, like
Yeah.
and then and physics, like I literally I almost failed. So then it was like obvious. So
Was there a physics subject in the engineering also?
yes. We have in first year we have physics in first semester and second semester.
Yeah.
So first semester it was okay. Second semester I like okay. I am
Yeah. Yeah.
not going to pass. This is not something for 4 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So maybe
there was a 1 year gap between your preparation, right? From 12th to first year. And so I think the last semester would have been difficult for physics because we didn't have
It was
practice of
not for
physics.
me. It was not for me. Like so I
Yeah.
was in the same year.
Uh-huh.
But still it was tough. The mainly because so the physics I used to like was where I used not I didn't need to do a lot of calculation, not a lot of derivation and all that.
Yeah.
Basically, I would think about a problem and I would see okay with minimal derivation and all that we would be
Correct.
able to get the answer. So that part physics I like. But when you go to college, now the physics there is like lots
Very
of
hard.
differentiation, integration, and like you would see like what's going on here. Why like this is like lots of math. I just don't want this one. So I like okay, I will give it a pass.
How was your
Yeah.
IIT preparation like, sir?
I
And
was
tell us about what worked for you because it's like the most difficult exam to crack in India.
you have heard about Moni's Pobre?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Moni's has a program for
Dakshana.
I
Wow.
was part of Dakshina
Crazy.
this thing.
Yeah.
Basically what worked for me, I personally believe is the peer group. So basically we were around 40, 50, I think around 50, yeah, 50, 51 or 2. So we were 51 or 52 of them, and we were prepared together. So we would have classes together and
Yeah.
all that. And the
Yeah.
best part was like we would solve together. So basically, if some
Mm.
facing some problem now, others would give it a try, and then so this process, right? And if someone doesn't understand something, someone else will chip in, and you will see someone studying always because like there are different times someone will study now. So that cycle,
Correct.
right? That environment, like really made the difference,
Mm.
other than the coaching and all that. So that everyone goes through, but this environment, right? Like so everyone is trying and they're having different approaches, they're solving different
Correct.
books, bringing different perspective and how to solve the problem and all.
Correct.
That made the real difference, I would say.
Correct. So this the same is happening with me, right? Because the last 2 years we had online classes, right? So we couldn't solve the questions together. And now we have offline school. Then the I also appear with 4 to 5 students, right? We solve the same question together, and then there's a if I don't get the question in the first attempt, they have different perspectives that this is the method where you can solve it, and the other one has
Correct,
different method, right?
Correct. So mostly I would not be that good in math. So I'm not that good in math in solving and all. But some of my friends is very good now. So they would say like, dude, this is the solution to this one. So how do you know? So now you solved the same problem in the past chapter or something. So like, oh, and then you would know these tricks because they would tell you. Otherwise, it's very difficult to know.
Correct. Otherwise, in the online one, I would have to be. I was stuck over the question for 10 to 15 minutes and didn't get any perspective. But in the offline, you get a perspective like this, right? Whether the person is what method is trying, what I am trying.
So that environment is like I think is very good to have.
Yeah. And another random question that I ask: why most of the people like only physics, right? Because most people hate chemistry and maths is very calculation intensive.
I didn't hate chemistry, but in chemistry I didn't like feel that much. What do you say? Like it's like a subject. It's like nothing specific you can do and all that. So it's like it's just there. So it gets good numbers. So anyway we have to read, but it's in the end. It's not like the one you read passionately. So in physics, like I like because like I could just think about the solution and it just works in some way. Math, like I also tried to do math, but beyond a point, it was tough for me.
Too calculation intensive.
Not too calculation intensive, but mostly like what I feel like at times it's more about like when you can imagine beyond a point, like how would the thing transform and all that, and then you do go in that way and all. I would not be able to do that. I would not be able to recall some of the things and all. And also I I changed like almost in the end that like I should maybe I was not maybe trying hard enough on that. Like maybe I would just leave the problem at like say 10 minutes. So okay, leave it now. That creates problem at times. So, but it's fine. Like it's over now. So it's fine. Yeah. What is your favorite subject at this point?
Physics, right? Because chemistry currently in the 10th one, NCERT one is pretty easy one, right? But the one that I solved the 11th one, that was pretty difficult one, right?
It's a lot of information is there. That's only
correct. I feel. Correct. And I think chemistry involves a lot of, if you know a formula for particular how to solve a particular equation by a formula, then you just have to convert the particular elements into that format, right? If there is a length, you have to convert it into ml, right? And think that is the most
No. I think in chemistry mostly the exceptions rule. So it's
no,
like,
we haven't not started with inorganic current.
Okay. So when you go on the element, this is like this is norm, but this is exception, and this is exception of exception. So so mostly like most of the IIT questions and all that, like they start with exception, and then there was like exception or something like that. So but keep going on that direction. So it's like you just remember something. But number wise,
is the 11th of chemistry something like SST that you have to memorize a lot of things?
Not exactly like SST. You have a lot of logic, but you also have to remember memorize things.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
And I think like even for like for IT, right? Like I don't know, but it's my perspective that like over time when you solve so much problem and all now, so you would practice like coaching test, this test, that test. You would memorize a lot of thing by like, so you would see
Mm.
problems and you would say, this is the approach. You would see, so that
Pattern
automatically,
recognition.
so you that would automatically happen. That's not something that you are doing actively,
Correct.
but some part you have to do in. So for chemistry, you have to do actively some part of that. Yeah. But
How?
chemistry brings number.
Yeah, yeah. Tell
Chemistry.
me.
Yeah. So it's so for me at least it is in this order. Like I think for many people it was in that order. Chemistry brings highest mark, physics second, maths third. So
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
so
Right.
whatever you like or dislike, you study chemistry. You have to if you have to pass.
No, no. In my coaching, this is something different, right? Most students score grade if they don't understand a chemistry topic, right? They
Hmm.
will just study physics overnight, right? They will just study physics because they know that they are not gonna get anything in the chemistry part of the problem, right? The exam papers of 180 marks, right? Let's say so 60, 60, 60 physics, chemistry,
Ah,
maths. So they will
ah,
study the physics part very wholeheartedly to get
hmm.
almost 100% in the physics part because they know that they will not score in the chemistry part. And then the maths is the second one and the last is the chemistry.
Nice.
Most students get the marks like that only.
Mhm.
How was your
Yeah.
experience at IIT Guwahati? Like, so what was your learning experience in terms of coding there? You pursue computer science, right?
I took computer
Yeah.
science. Basically, like when I recall my college days, mostly I was part of some startup doing some coding. So it's like from very
Okay, so there were
beginning,
many startups in the campus only.
camp. Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
So they would
Of
do.
those also CS students only.
No. So there might be, so people keep trying now. So if they
Ah,
feel like, there's some idea, they will try for some
hmm.
time and then
Then they
move
will
on to
go.
something else,
Got it, got it.
write something.
Hmm.
And there are also entrepreneurs sell there. So there are some
Entrepreneurship.
outside companies also being there. So I got a I was not very, what do you say, I didn't know about computer a lot when I joined college. So I was like
Huh, huh.
literally. But then I got in touch with one of my senior, and like he was like really great coder. So he was like, at that time he would earn like in dollars or something. So
Oh wow, wow.
while studying in secondary or something, he would have foreign clients for whom he would do coding and all that. So
He was a freelancer at that time.
freelancer at that time. So
Crazy.
he basically he taught me that, like, see, the way of like if you start reading book and do and all that, now that's a boring way.
Correct.
Get some project. So he
Correct.
would get me. He said me like, I would get you a project with that particular guy. He's anyway like asking me to do something on that, and he would pay you if you finish the work. He would pay you, like it's a
Wow.
very small something, but he would pay you. I was like, that gets me motivated. And so I like worked for him one project. It's like in the parallel of college, and then worked for another guy. So I worked for 3-4 people during my the college days, and only in the last year now, when I came in fourth year, I was
Yeah.
like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I will just sit back. But, so my major learning was in this area only. So while I'm working on different projects now, you see, one guy was right, like he was very good in the problem, but his understanding of the tech was like nil.
Okay.
Even so, you can say
Mm.
minus. So
Mm.
so the idea he would give me that, like we have
You
to
can
do
do this something like
this.
but he don't know
Huh.
how to do that.
He doesn't know how to do that, and whatever idea he suggests now, if you do that by coding, you would have lots of problems, because like
Mm.
he's like a total
Correct.
thinking totally in a different way.
Correct.
So if you like while working with those things now, I got like some decent understanding of how people say requirement, but what's actual requirement, and then
Mm.
how to change that and do so I started working with different open source project. Will combine, get some project delivered, make some tweaks and get some delivered something. And so that part, like I got like pretty good learning around that side. Yeah, apart from normal college fun, that was the major thing, like I learned there.
Crazy. So at the until fourth year, you know pretty much great coding, right?
Which coding?
No, you know pretty much good coding, right? You know how to code,
Ah,
coding. Yeah.
by second year, by second year, so because like, I have to deliver project now, and they would
Mm,
that would be used by some customer.
correct.
So you get used to that. Like so you fix bugs, you get problem. This is breaking, that is breaking you. So by second year, and now I was able to like do everything. So I was like given a requirement, I will be able to build, deploy, do everything. That does like you ever able to do that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun doing that, right? Debugging also.
There's lots of fun doing that, yeah. So like so whatever thing we will do generally in intern, so deleting DB, deleting
Ah,
production and all that I
yeah,
did earlier. I did all that during that time.
yeah. And if you get a bug and you try to debug it,
Hmm.
some other part of the code gets torn, and then you have to fix that also. That this has
Uh,
happened a lot with me. Yeah.
it happens like so initially like it's like trying to learn how to
Mm,
walk and all, right? How to walk and all. So you fall a lot, you but you fix, like you iterate and you
correct,
get better. Yeah.
correct. Fantastic. Then why you stop all this freelancing at fourth year, sir?
So it has become a bit hectic. So
Hectic.
at fourth year, like because like so when you keep delivering things, people start expecting, right? So
Ah,
now like many folks were trying to like do this, do that,
yeah.
and I felt like now it's like becoming bit much, and I basically wanted to try that whether I want to go for research, whether I want
Ah.
to go for PhD or MS on that.
Mhm.
So basically, I wanted to try out that, like whether I should go for or not. So in last year, basically what I did, like I contacted I think three professors, basically, and I said like I will do some project under you, and I will see that like whether I have interest in going for research or something or not. So basically, on last year I focused on that part. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And how was research like?
It was good, but I didn't like it that much.
Ah.
So the part I didn't like was like so the coding part and the idea and all that is fun.
Hmm.
But I felt like that at times we were solving the problems, which is like there is some problem, but I don't feel that the impact is too much. And like
Yeah, it's
basically
not huge.
it's not huge, and we are making some minor improvement over some particularly previously discussed paper. So
Ah.
I feel like I can have better impact somewhere else. So
Hmm.
yeah, but that was a good exercise because so many of my friend had this dilemma whether to go for MS and all or PhD and all, and it takes quite a time to figure out whether to stay in job and not. But I was clear on that because of 1 year I spent there with professors and all. So
Then how do you crack? How did you crack Amazon, sir? The FANG company.
yeah, Amazon was like okay, it's like not very easy, but they came for
Oh,
they
so they
came
came
in.
at the last fourth year placement.
No, they came for intern. So at the end
Oh,
of
okay, okay, got it.
they would no yeah, so around second year some half or
Uh-huh.
something came for interview. They asked the question that I know. So and like it was like very okay type for me. So so basically previous to that, like so I didn't do competitive coding a lot, so I would not solve the
Huh.
questions they would in the
Like
interview.
the code chef and all that, right?
Code stuff and all that I didn't do a lot. So it was a bit tough for me, but
Hmm.
I practiced some question and they asked particularly those questions that I knew. So I just nailed it. And then I got intern. So in intern I converted because I had experience working with this thing and all, right.
Yeah.
So the problem they had was like so I was able to finish that. And in Amazon they nowadays, like, and even at my times they would convert you if you just solve their problem in 2 months. So so it was fine for me.
So from second year you were at Amazon only.
No, I interned
Oh,
third
okay,
year
okay.
and for
Uh-huh.
2 months. Then I went back to college for fourth year.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I joined back, so
Mm-hmm.
they
Got it,
converted me
got it.
for full time.
So how was the learning curve about learning coding when you were freelancing and when you were at a job at Amazon?
It's a very different thing. So like when I was freelancing, right, like, those guys won't understand. So there's like
Uh-huh.
one guy who is founder who is also doing some business work and all that,
Correct.
and they would
Correct.
generally hire interns like me or freelancer like me to get some particular thing done. So they would not have what do you say? They would just check whether the product works or not. So
Okay,
they
yeah.
would
So
check.
they didn't know any back end work to it, right? They just
They would not know
correct.
what's the quality of code and all that.
Ah,
Uh, so that's a major difference. So here the quality takes higher precedence than
hmm,
like functionality is also required, but quality takes like a lot of precedence and scaling and all that. There it's not like that. It's like just build something. They would take it. They don't care that much.
yeah,
So that's a major difference. And here it's like more of you write good code,
yeah,
you write the code where it
yeah,
would scale and all.
yeah.
Yeah,
Writing
that's
a
the
good
major.
quality code means you use the right variable names. You get
You will
good
write you will write you will use the right variables name.
correct
That's only
commenting,
part of it.
right?
Yeah, those are one part of it, but the major part is like you said the same problem. Now, so after 6 months, you are not able to understand the code. After
Correct,
so
correct, correct.
you try to write code in a way where
That anyone could
after
understand.
some time somebody else read it. It's
Correct,
maintainable. It follows good practices. It's less buggy and all that.
yeah,
And when you have so at like size of Amazon, right? Like you have many different things going on across systems that you don't know.
yeah,
So like maybe at Captwist level and maybe at Sod level, you would know everything almost. And if you
correct,
maybe spend half an hour, you would know what's happening and all. But at that level, you would not know. So you would have to figure out a lot of things and all. So though that gets different, but yeah, core it's the same thing. Yeah.
got it. How do you recommend a newbie who wants to learn coding? How should he go about learning it?
Do projects.
Crazy. Same here. Right. I learned a
Yeah.
lot working on shows rather than the earlier ones. Right.
Yeah,
Bec-
because like you don't feel interested now. You
Correct.
don't
Because
feel.
if a new one is learning, right, he will just watch a YouTube tutorial and then he's like, I learned this language. Right.
That doesn't work.
He's
You
done like that. But he didn't
ah,
do anything in that particular. He didn't do solve any issue or something like that.
correct. Yeah. So and if you go about that particular problem, now you think from the problem side. You don't think from
Correct.
what language or what
Correct.
tools
Correct.
programmers
Correct.
mean.
Correct. Correct. If the problem commands you to learn JavaScript, you should learn JavaScript. You shouldn't
JavaScript. Yeah.
learn JavaScript to say that I learned JavaScript. I learned another good language. Right.
Correct. So coming from that side now, what it helps like it makes you versatile. So what I feel like now, so languages come and go, frameworks come and go.
Logic
Uh,
remains the same. Right?
Logic remains the same. Like the core idea remains the same. So if you come from that side now, you attack the problem like that. You won't say that like this programming language does not have this one. That's why I will not do it. Like it's not the way it works now. So like problem has to be solved. You solve it somehow. Like you figure out how to
Correct.
solve it now.
Correct.
So
Then you're more project oriented rather than
you
the
started.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah
Sorry.
yeah. Tell, tell.
Go ahead. When you started learning about coding, how long? How long back?
No, when I was in fifth standard, right?
Mhm.
I was in the coding classes. We didn't taught you coding, but it was something like logic, right? It was algorithm rather than coding. So we didn't actually
Mhm.
code, but we used to build algorithms that if there's a problem, how will we solve it, right? And then,
Oh, great.
right,
Great.
that taught a lot to me, right? Because at that time
Mhm.
we didn't actually code, but we knew the logic behind that, what algorithm
Mhm.
is, what is it actually, and then we used to do it in a scratch. Are you aware of scratch?
No.
No, scratch is a game. You make games on the scratch, but you don't write code. You just have to drag and drop those tools, right?
Blocks.
Blocks, correct. Block programming
Yeah.
language. Yeah. And then I did it in fifth standard, right? That
Hmm.
that taught a lot to me. But at that time
Hmm.
also I knew, right, that I can't make scratch projects, right? This is not I want to make, right? I want to make something a big, right? Something like a app, and that we taught that the programming teacher taught us in the sixth semester standard, where you could make actual app. That I was pretty interested in. So
Okay.
you could make that app without writing the code. So that was also
Hmm.
a drag and drop tool, right?
Hmm.
Then there I made the yeah, what do you call them? Bookshelf app, right? Where you could automatically enter the name of the
Hmm.
book that you read and store it, and
Hmm.
enter the name of the books that are in your watch list, right?
Okay,
And
okay,
then you
okay.
could download the APK of it .apk file and then run it on your Android device. Right? That I did.
Cool, huh?
It was fantastic, and that too without learning to code, right? then
Uh-huh.
then in 2020, then in between 2020, I learned Python. That I
Hmm.
won't call it learning a Python. I just watched tutorials and called I learned Python, but that was not actually learning Python. But then in
Mhm.
2022, when I
Hmm.
actually wanted to build shows and realized that this can't happen without code, then I started learning
Hmm.
Python pretty aggressively. And then
Hmm.
1 to 2 months, yeah, then whole project oriented mindset, right? You talk, right? If a project requires you to learn Python, you learn Python. If the project
Hmm.
requires you to learn NLP, you should learn NLP, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Correct,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
right? That project mindset is fantastic. And then since that learning coding only. Now I've started to learn C++ because
Hmm.
I want to crack Indian computing Olympiad, right, this year.
Okay, okay, okay.
I,
Yeah. So you.
yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
yeah, yeah.
No, no. So I was thinking like so how do you so currently when you think about some problem now. So let's say you told about like this is the calendar tool that you have currently. So
The Concall calendar
when you get
recently launched.
on call currently, so when you get the idea, how do you approach it? So like
Yeah. First, when I was just starting, right, I was to build every UI UX design
hmm,
of thing that how will I do it, and then
hmm,
realize that this was a very nonsensical idea to do. First, you have to first fix the backend that how is the data gonna go, right? So if you
hmm,
look at Concall calendar, right, the first major thing that if I was starting, right, 6 months ago, I would first build the calendar UI UX and then build
hmm,
the code. There was wrong approach. Now
hmm,
I build the first code, right? First
hmm,
fix the data flow and then build a UI UX, right? So if you look at Concall calendar, right, it's pretty. If you observe exchange filings, you realize there is a specific category where
hmm,
concalls fall, right?
hmm,
And
hmm,
in the headline of that, you get the date and time value of the concall, right? This you
correct.
can extract by NLP, right?
Hmm,
And then realize that there is another framework called regex.re
hmm,
and Python package where you
hmm,
can do that sort of thing. So learn
hmm, hmm.
regex in 2 days
Ah,
because if you practice this all that you can learn a tool very fast, right? Hence I learned
correct.
regex very fast and then
Hmm,
deployed that tool. Uh, the
hmm,
the the there's also a feature in that Colco calendar which is dial in numbers, which was pretty
hmm,
easy. The
hmm,
date and time one took a lot of time because a particular date can be written in many forms. Like for example, if today's date is
hmm,
24th June, people may
hmm,
write it June 24, 2022. Some people may write
hmm.
it 22 June, 24
Hmm.
June 2022. And some
Ah,
people
ah,
might add comma. Some people may say
yeah.
24th June.
Fourth.
Right.
Yes, 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 yes,
The
yes.
number part was pretty easy to do, but I got some errors in the number parts. Like for example, some companies, right, what they do is that in the end of each exchange filing, they write their office number. So that is a little bit bug, but I don't know how to fix that because
Huh,
format of the phone number in Indian style is same. I can't
huh,
change
huh.
it, and then how can I differentiate between a dial-in number mentioned in the call PDF and a phone number? Yeah, so that's how I cracked that problem, and then build a UI UX. This I started
Hmm,
from Monday. We are shooting this
hmm.
Friday and deployed it. Right.
Nice, nice. Pretty fast. Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
good.
Earlier, if you, I don't know if you believe this. I took 1 month just to write the the corporate announcement code to fetch corporate announcements. 1 month,
It takes like so initially it takes a lot of time,
a
right?
lot of
But
time. Yeah,
yeah, but then it improves a lot. Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Then it improves a lot.
You are in interested in investment side, right? Like do
Yeah,
you have your own investments?
yeah, yeah. I invest in stock market myself.
Okay, so how frequently do you check your positions and how
No,
like do
no,
you add?
coding शोध के बाद तो कुछ time ही नहीं है. Data shows after that, I don't have any time only. Right,
हाँ
because
हाँ
you have school, you have show, right? Just pretty time
हाँ,
consuming. Don't
correct.
it because show itself takes a lot of time. You don't have time to look at the
Hmm,
portfolio. Like
hmm.
nowadays, I look at portfolio 1 to 2 times every week, something like that.
Okay. Okay,
Right.
yeah, still good. Like I for me, like so yeah. So I'm not not able to look. I like let it be in automated mode and it's fine.
Correct,
So
correct, correct, correct. Yeah, fantastic. I'm also working on the automation, like, right? Right. Did you read the SYC blog on the person who made a was a mathematician who made a
mm.
model which automatically it was a quants model, right? So if your company fulfilled those parameters, it will automatically form a screener, and then he would collect a bucket of top 15 stocks and invest in those automatically. And his
No,
fund gave a,
no, I'm
yeah.
not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Okay, yeah, you are
So
not. Yeah.
I'm
No,
not.
I'm also
So
not
I'm
doing it, but
data
that's a
scientist.
potential side where you can do.
Yes. But again, the problem. So some of my friends had tried on that.
Hmm.
But like so unless like we have like good amount of expertise and all, right?
Hmm.
Like and
Hmm.
it becomes a bit difficult because like what model is doing and all that it becomes at times it's real money involved at times, and now many of them have money, so they lose a lot. So and then if you lose a lot now, the problem is like you would not stay in the market. So what I am trying to do now, like
Stay in the
being
market.
like I don't have that much expertise in market now. Stay in market, just stay in
Just stay
market
in the
for
market. Yeah.
and what if it's an average return or nothing, like I think this is fine, but I just want to stay, like just want to be here, like for some time, like for 5 6 more years, so around 10 years I would have some money, and then we will see how things go and all. So
Correct. 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 Same here. Like when show was not when I started working on shows. Since then, I didn't get any time to research
mhm.
more of new companies.
But before that how
Before
was
that,
it?
I was just researching companies only.
Okay, so mostly you
Yeah.
would like look into
Ah,
financials,
yeah,
reports
yeah.
and all.
That all. Yeah. I did that a lot. I still enjoy it. But then when I then a coding bug, what the coding bug hit me.
Uh-huh. So when so how did you get that idea? So like
Sure.
changing from doing research to so.
Yeah. So I also work as an intern at Vivek Mashtani sir, right? There in the community, most of the people face the problem that they couldn't find Capex data anywhere
Hmm.
organized. So realize that I also face the
Where
same
you
problem.
intern? Where
Yeah,
you intern?
Vivek
Where did
Mashtani
you intern?
sir, Vivek Mashtani sir.
Vivek Masrani. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Okay.
Right. And I realized that I am also not getting Capex data anywhere organized, right? Then I started
Huh.
working over it. Then I got the idea that this is a potential uh, problem that can be solved, right? And then,
Okay.
yeah, then
So
started
this is
working over it.
back or how old is this? This is around which time? This year only?
January, yeah,
January.
January.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. That at
Nice.
that from that time till around April, right? April is the time where I launched the show. Until
Mhm.
I would say April end, I used to do it all manually, right?
Mhm.
Because I realized that NLP code doesn't work here. There's no standardization capex data that you can give.
Correct.
Then
Mm.
then then the major breakthrough came when I talked to Rishabh Srivastava sir. He's the founder
Mhm.
of Data Narratives dot
Yes. Mhm.
com, right?
Mhm.
He gave me
Mhm.
the idea that you should try GPT-3 model by OpenAI.
Okay.
Then shifted to
Okay.
GPT-3 model, and since then everything is automated.
Okay. So GPT-3 works with I haven't tried that. I will try that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So good
fantastic.
one.
But GPT GPT-3 costs a lot.
It's fine. We will see.
Yeah, because what happens is that capex announcements on a daily basis are very low. Hence,
Hmm.
GPT-3 works for me. The costs are very minimum, like around $20 to $25 per month,
Mhm.
which is average. But
Hmm.
if you work if you let it
So
run on
you
every, yeah.
grab you so what you I think you first round of filter, you figure out whether there is a capex information and
Correct,
then run for that.
correct.
Then run through it. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes
Yes.
sense. Yeah. Because if you run it on every announcement, it would make you bankrupt.
Yeah.
And the GPT-3 also, the topmost model costs you a lot, right? And the
Hmm.
topmost model actually has the highest accuracy. Other models
Oh,
just suck in the. They don't have any accuracy in the information extraction part. They have
I see.
good good capabilities in for terms of text completion. Right? If you give it a text, right, that I am standing on, so it will complete on hill, like that.
Okay, got it, got it, got it.
They
Yeah.
work in text completion.
Maybe the base model was trained like that. That's why it has
Ha,
like
correct,
this in.
correct, 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 correct.
Great, great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how scaled it, right? Now it's more scalable because I just have to verify it, that all the data sent by GPT is correct or not. Make the
Hmm.
changes. That requires only 5 minutes per day. The
Correct,
earlier
correct,
one
correct.
would require a lot of time.
Yes, yes, yes. Nice, nice.
Yeah. Then how did you build Capitalist.in, sir? Then how do you get the idea of
Yeah,
Capitalist?
so yeah, so after like when I so like after college, right? So I thought like I would
So
start
from
like
since college you're working on Capitalist.
no, not
Okay.
on capitalist, not on capitalist. Like I'm saying like the transition. So after college, like I said, like I'm not doing any more freelancing work. It's like so it's like
It's too time consuming.
it's too time consuming and the learning wise it stopped. So like
Mm.
so and then it's like
And I
doing the
think the
same thing
earnings
for
wise is also topped, right? Because you earn X number of dollars per hour, and then there are only 24 hours per day. So your earning wise also a cap, right?
yeah, earning wise no you so over time expertise with expertise you would have higher number of dollars, right?
Uh-huh.
You can get that. That's
Mm.
generally freelancers do.
Mm.
But then the part was like learning wise, right? Like I felt like it generally becomes
Mm.
hectic and it's not that much helping in learning. Uh, so learning wise, it kind of stagnated for me. So I thought like I would start like in understanding about markets, finance, and all that. So I spent some time it took me some time to get basics right, and then I started learning about that. And then I would pick up. So during COVID time, right? Like in the initial COVID time, I would generally pick stocks and all that. By the time I did, when it came to like so after COVID, it had a very sharp run, right? So around 2021 mid, I was like
Yeah.
the market is like it's like it has gone too much up, and so I was not finding anything to do sort of like stock or something. So I was like, I will maybe. So one day I got that idea that like how do I find better ideas now? So I was like, I thought like if I can automate something, now I can maybe find smaller stocks where there is some things are happening without like
Yeah.
reading all of that.
Yeah.
So I started with that. So basically, I started with the idea that and a specific trigger was this thought was there, but a specific trigger was a company called Lux Industries. You have heard about that, right?
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
it's it may make
Soaps.
no, undergarments. Lux
Okay.
Koji, apna Lux brand ke chalo
Oh,
that one.
got it, got it. There's also Lux brand called soap, right? So I was confused.
So this Lux industry, they were doing some mergers and like I think they were the internal company only, but some company was private and they were merging into parent company. And it was like around so initially before merger it was quoting around 23p or something, but after merger now it will go around so say 17 or 18p, and
Hmm.
after merger now it will have say like 70% or something EPS rise
Hmm.
and all that. So like and it's so like it's a good market, like so the market is like pretty good. So and if some this news will come now, so generally we would have some good price appreciation. So somehow I found that stock and I invested in that. So I made some amount, but then I found that this kind of thing is good now if I can find that like this thing is going to happen, like the management is just discussing in call. If I can find for all the companies where this sort of activity is happening, I can just go and look into that. So I
Correct.
started with that idea that like
Wow.
where where this sort of activity is happening. But then I found that like it's not the accuracy is not that high, and then I
Yeah.
didn't know how to work with
Do
all
it.
of
Yeah.
it and all. Yeah. So it started with that. So and then it slowly turned into like if we can make it more generic about searching anything. And then I
Uh-huh.
started. So initially we built for Concall. So we built a tool for Concall, like where we will search and all, and then we expanded it to other things. But we felt that like the searching is the core problem where
Yeah,
maybe
correct,
they, yeah.
correct, correct.
So
Then,
that
what was this
yeah.
timeline? So, what at what time in 2020, 2021?
2021, yeah, around August or September, somewhere we were thinking about this idea, but
Uh-huh.
then we didn't start coding till like very late. So we started around uh, November, December, around that time frame,
And
because
when did you
like
launch?
around Jan, the first version was there. So around Jan,
Uh-huh.
we launched the first version. So where so basically we first uh, so initially we were thinking more on Concall. So
Yeah, yeah, correct.
we thinking that like how we can extract all the data and all that.
Yeah.
So we wrote a parser for Concall. So given a PDF, it will extract the person,
Ha
place,
ha
and
ha.
all
Yeah,
that, all that, and it will parse the JSON. It will make a JSON out of that Concall. So
Oh
it
wow, you make a JSON out of the con call text.
yes. So because that's structured information, we can do anything out of that. So we can,
Yeah.
so if you see, right, like so Concall is generally a PDF now.
Hmm.
You cannot display it very good on mobile
Hmm.
sites.
Hmm.
But since we parse text and we make it in a way that you can display it any device, any format and all. And we had like
Got it.
so that
Got
was
it. So you made a JSON object of a speaker and then the text he spoke.
yes.
Yeah.
And then we do all the
Crazy. Yeah, yeah. Then
analysis.
you made the UI UX changes.
Yes,
Got
yes,
got
all the analysis and all that. So
crazy.
it took us quite some time. Like it took around a month. So understanding and different permutation and combination of how to do and all that.
Yeah.
Then for we could not do the same for other things. So like investor presentation and all that. It's not
Uh,
structured, so we cannot do
hmm.
that
Correct.
much. But again, like we could do simple searching and all that.
Uh,
Yeah. So yeah, around that time frame. So yeah.
it's almost around 9 to 10 months you're working on that, right?
By
Yeah.
idea wise, it's like around 9 to 10 months.
Crazy.
So idea, because before coding, you have to have that thing now
Yeah,
that
yeah. You have to have the logic set in the mind
like
that ki ye karna
yeah, ये करना है and all that. So that took us around 2 to 3 months. और करना भी है या नहीं ऐसे मतलब so whether this is something that you want to like मतलब अपने local में run करना है या मतलब देना है
हाँ,
किसी को
cloud
भी
पे
है
डाल.
cloud पे डालना है and all that, because like so for us, right, like so from us, like it's not very native that we haven't like marketed tools, and we haven't went out and like communicate and all that. So it took us and still taking us like some time to get people to use and all that. uh but it's like still fine. So like
Yeah.
we are experimenting and we are seeing that whether this makes uh huge.
Yeah. Everyone who is watching this, just check out the description and there's a link for Captwist tool. Just go and just make an account with that. You will be just blown out the features it has. Another question that I have is how do you manage your day job and the Captwist work?
So yeah, so day job, so mostly so day job is generally more challenging for me than because in day job I have to like maintain very high quality of code and all that, right? Because like someone will be looking and
Correct,
all that.
correct, correct.
But so Captwist mostly like I do generally on Saturday or Sunday.
Oh,
Like
God.
one day I would do 1 or 2 days. The other days, like I would not do much. I would just check whether system health is fine, whether everything is working fine or not. And there are
Mhm.
some manual tasks that I need to do, so I would do that. So on daily basis,
Yeah,
uh,
God.
not much. I would not do much on daily basis because that becomes too hectic. And then
Hectic,
so
yeah.
I used to do. I did for some point for a month or so, but then it becomes like too hectic, like whole day and then this and that. So.
Capitalize. Yeah.
Hmm.
How much time do you spend coding in a week for Capitalist? Hours
For
based.
Captwist, so most of the time, so coding times, it's
Very
coding time
less.
is for me. Coding time is not that much for me. but it's like thinking how we would get that thing
uh,
correct now. So
uh, uh,
what we will do
yeah.
exactly, because like it doesn't
Mhm.
take a lot of time for me to code,
Yeah.
because if you find like how you would do it now, if you get that correct now, it will take like lesser time because now I know that how to code and all that. uh,
Correct.
but figuring out that, like, how would the model be, how we would do all the operation and all that,
Correct.
that takes us time. Where we will deploy it, how we will do it, and all that, a cost-effective manner and all that. So so because still we are not monetizing anything, right? So that takes a big time for us. So like still thinking and that
Correct. 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 No, I also do
coding,
something like that because if I have to make a feature, I will just think about the logic behind how I have to do it. Then coding
hmm,
requires very less time.
very
Most
less
of the
time.
time
Yes.
is taken in debugging.
Okay. So yeah, debugging is not so for Captwist it's not that high for us,
Uh-huh.
because so we know pretty much like
Uh-huh.
how things,
And how
yeah.
many
So
members does Capitalist have, sir? You and Puneet, sir, right?
how many?
How many? What's the team of Capitalist?
Yeah, so me and
Puneet.
one of my friends works, Puneet.
Yeah.
So two
Great.
of us.
Great.
Yeah. So all the nice things that you see on UI, it's his idea. So but and the backend things I generally do. So it's like that.
Fantastic. Fantastic. What are the upcoming features you're working on, Capitalist, sir?
So major features that we are trying to work is more to improve more search. So to add more data sets.
Data.
Yeah. So we are trying to add credit rating data. We have data for CRISIL as of now. We will expand that to KR, ICRA, and others. Uh, so and then we want to so currently we don't do annual reports. The major
Uh,
reason being that
uh-huh.
annual reports is a very big document, and
Yeah.
whatever the experiment that we ran, right, we were not able to provide high accuracy result. So finding result is one thing, and then relevant result is another thing now. So you can just match something. So that we are trying to solve, how to maybe remove some of the data that is not important, and then get the correct information there.
Correct.
So that we need
And the
to
annual
do.
report is not a structure for every company, right?
Annual,
Some
yeah, annual report is not structured. That's
correct.
another problem. Yeah, but again, the investor presentation is also not structured, right? Press release is also not structured. But
Yeah.
the generally what happens now? So in press release, if there are 5 pages, right, you can be very sure that like so 3 or 4 of them would have good amount of data, would have
Correct.
some data which is like
Correct.
relevant. But in annual report, there are lots of pages which doesn't add much. So
Correct.
let's suppose that like auditor's report. So what you will search there? So but if you have some word there now, you will go and match that, and you would see all the results coming from auditor's report, and that's like what do you say, like it's a it's a bad experience that we get. So one of the things that is, I don't think like people like understand and appreciate, but what we do is, right, like we try to prioritize the results. So the top result that you see, right, like comes
Yeah.
through
Yeah. Yeah. You rank it.
we rank it. So we have a very smaller algorithm as of now, but we do it. We
Correct.
rank it like based on relevance. So that score, that relevancy thing now is not very maintained when we include raw annual reports. So we have to do
Correct.
some modification there, like some sort of scoring of different pages and all.
Yeah.
So that like we include correct result, and then if we can do that, now we will need to do the same thing. We will extend the same thing to other big documents. So basically, we would extend it to RBI report, SEBI report, and other industry body reports, so that like we search on a larger number of documents. That's the main thing that we like maybe would focus on that. Then we
Correct.
would do some information extraction side, maybe something related to guidance, or similar questions, similar discussion, trends about things. So these are some of the areas that we are thinking of. But yeah, at points like what happens that we get some new idea coming from somewhere that we see that it's easy to implement, like the Concall, superstars discussion about Concall. So we found a thread written by Saurabh, Kumar Saurabh. He was talking about like who do you track in Concalls, and we had already the list of persons there. Said,
Ah,
oh, okay, we'll get to that. So if we see something like that, which is like we already have and something, we will provide that too. But yeah, that's the main idea we will work on.
yeah, correct, correct. Fantastic. All the best for
What?
capitalist checks.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
So
are you asking, sir?
yeah, I was asking about so like are you working on something as of now?
Yeah, a lot of things, right? The feature request, the Notion tab that I made is full of 20, 30 requests, features
Okay.
that I don't get
Great,
time
great.
to make. Yeah. Yeah. The recently
Okay.
the high priority one was Concall. Concall calendar that is done now. Just have to automate it few a lot of I'll automate it, but that won't
Hmm.
require a lot of time. The main major task is done. Now we start
Okay.
working over getting stock price data, because majority of the features that I'm working on that I have in my Notion feature
Hmm.
request tab are related. They have some correlation with the stock price. So if we have the
Okay.
stock price data fixed for each company,
Hmm.
we have uh, we have a data pipeline where you can get that. Then it would be pretty great.
Okay. I see. Yeah.
Like I tried that, but like
Hmm.
2 to 3 weeks ago, but
Hmm.
you can't. The NSC just blocks it, right? So you can't just
Ah,
change your API also.
okay.
Mm.
Hmm.
But the stranger thing that I found was GitHub only. You can there's a function called GitHub code spaces. Are you aware of that?
No.
So
I
go.
haven't.
Are you aware of Visual Code Studio?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
So
I know.
GitHub code spaces is like just Visual Code Studio on the web. So what
Okay.
happens is that there, if you run a code, it will
Hmm.
automatically create an API which is publicly hittable, publicly crawlable URL,
Okay.
and that worked. When I tried it on getting the stock price rate, it worked. But the thing was
Hmm.
that is not permanent. So the moment you close the Chrome tab, it automatically wipes, because
Oh.
it's running on
Got it.
your browser, right? That's all the thing that I tried. A lot of modules, all the modules like NSC Py, NSC Tools, NSC Python, every module you could say. Name. Let's see how can we get that.
Yeah.
I think Shankar Prasad also was talking about that, right? Getting
Yeah,
uh
I think
yeah.
someone said him something.
Yeah, he
You can
just
check out.
yesterday I think tweeted about that, right? And
Yes.
so yeah.
Why finance or something? Someone recommended.
Yeah. Some that the another person sent the code of how to get that by Yahoo Finance. We have
Yeah,
explore Yahoo
you
Finance.
can try that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Correct.
Good to see. Good to see you working on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Same. All the best for Capital. So thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks. Okay.